That's the one. So I had a wee break the last time because like it was kind of holiday, so we didn't do a show last week or the week before because I think the week before was just about Christmas, wasn't it? So anyway, um, have you got stuff for us? Because you could go first with your whatever stuff you've got.
Let's see.
That gives me a
Oh,
chance.
I think that this one's funny, and I want to do this.
Okay, that gives me a chance to run away and go for a pee that I didn't do because I was too busy trying to set up the settings and look
See
for
about
stuff.
this with y- I wanted to talk about this with you.
Oh right, well do something else quick.
Okay, I'll think of something. You go pee. Hurry up.
Yeah.
Hurry up. Go. 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 Okay, he's gone. I'm currently working on like some art so that we could have it's going to be like the Scottish pub or whatever for our YouTube channel. And it was going to like I was trying to get it done for today, but then I started drawing little liquor bottles in the background. So yeah. I was like, "Oh, I'm spending all this time drawing, so it's probably not going to get done right away." But oh yeah, I yawned. I'm sorry. But anyways, I think it's gonna look like pretty good. I could see where the cat's gonna be, and we've got like taps or whatever to so that people can get beer in my drawing. And then we have like a little TV thingy in the corner so that we can like play videos in it. I hope it's big enough. I don't know if it's not big enough and Morn wants it bigger, then make I can make it bigger like easily. Just big enough so that we could play like little videos and stuff in it for our YouTube. And then the cat will sit on the counter here. And I thought about putting like a little beer mug on the counter too. So then he'd have like a little bit of beer or something. I don't know. It'll be fun though. We'll see like how that's gonna turn out. I hope you like it though. Oh, sorry. I had a freaking. That was a yawn. I'm sorry. I actually didn't get like a whole lot of sleep last night. Hmm. I got like, let me see, maybe 6.5 hours, maybe 7, somewhere around there. So not like a whole lot, but enough. I also put like a little clock in there. I thought the clock was fun. I don't know. I was looking at like pictures of Irish pubs, and one of them had a clock. So I'm like, now I have a clock. I got some lights. Oh god, I took my drink. Moore never listens back to these, so he won't know that I freaking just choked on my drink here. But it's mostly gonna be made like with dark wood too. Yeah. When I color it in, it's not colored in yet. I've been making all these little bottles. I'm almost done making the little bottles, actually. But I only have like one more space to fill with bottles. Oh, I think that he might be coming back.
Not back.
Ah, there you are. I talked about other stuff. Okay, now we can talk about this though.
Yeah.
I also spent like maybe a few seconds like coughing because like I choked on my drink.
Oh. Yeah. Is
I
it
know,
this
I
one?
almost died. Okay, yeah, this one. So Microsoft, the title of this is Microsoft tried to buy Nintendo but got laughed out of the room. So I thought this would be funny. I haven't
Okay.
read any of it, but it was a funny headline, so I was like, yeah. So somehow, it's already been 2 decades since Microsoft first announced the Xbox. It's
Where is it? Oh,
foray,
right. Okay.
huh?
I was
It's
trying to get
foray.
the picture up. Hang on.
Oh, okay. I'm waiting.
There it is. I've got it now.
Okay. It's foray into console gaming. Specifically, the Xbox was unveiled at CES in 2001 to commemorate the launch. Boomerang has published.
Oh, I remember. I actually remember this. This was about in
Yeah,
all the magazines at the time, like
yeah,
all
and
the gaming
in-depth oral
magazines.
history.
Um, it's right. It's really weird. Um, Sony. Right. So the it's how Sony came about in the first place as well with the PlayStation, because they if you remember, I don't know if you remember, but the consoles had, well, the Sega Mega Drive had an add-on. Did you call it the Sega Genesis? I think over there, but it had like a CD add-on to like play CD games. And Nintendo wanted one for the Super Nintendo, and they asked Sony, "Can you make a CD player for our console?" So that's how Sony started out in the computer game, well, in the console type world. It was Nintendo's fault, because Nintendo asked them to come up with a CD disc drive for the Super Nintendo, or what did you, Super Famicom you guys called it. I don't know why you have so many different names for fucking consoles. But yeah, that was so eventually Nintendo went, nah, we don't want it anymore. So Sony were like, okay, fuck it, we'll make our own, and that's how the PlayStation came about. It's interesting that Microsoft asked to buy Nintendo. That's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
funny.
Okay, so anyways, of how the console came to be. It's a fascinating way, but one particular passage stands out. Details on Microsoft's efforts to secure games for the brand new console. While the company employed third-party developers to work on the Xbox, Microsoft also considered using its considerable financial might to buy developers. And Microsoft set its sights high, approaching Nintendo about an acquisition.
They would have been better
Microsoft was
asking Sega. If they asked Sega, Sega probably would have went, yeah. Because at that point,
Microsoft was
Sega
laughed out
was.
of the room, says Kevin Batches, a director for third-party relations on the Xbox project. They just laughed their asses off, Batches said in Boomerang. Like, imagine an hour of somebody just laughing at you. That's kind of how that meeting went.
That's funny.
Oh, that's really funny. Yeah. So Microsoft's specific pitch did make some amount of sense. At the time, Nintendo was lagging behind Sony badly from a hardware perspective. So Microsoft figured it could take on hardware production and leave Nintendo to focus on the software. We actually had Nintendo in our building in January 2000 to work through the details of a joint venture where we gave them all the technical specs of the Xbox, said head of business developer Bob McBreen. The pitch was their hardware stunk, and compared to Sony and PlayStation, it did. So the idea was, listen, you're much better at game portions of it with Mario and all that stuff. Why don't you let us take care of the hardware? But it didn't work out.
No, that's why you
Clearly.
got laughed at. Like, these Americans coming in here telling us how to make consoles. No wonder they got laughed at, because you can imagine Japan's not going to be happy with these Americans coming into their office going, by the way, your hardware shit, your console shit, we can do it better. It's like, yeah, Japan's not going to put up with that. No wonder they were laughing their arses off. Fucking hell. Ah, nah.
You think about it, even if some of their consoles were like lagging behind a little bit,
Yeah,
it was just a little bit, but like people were willing to. Their games were so fun,
yeah. No, but
so it
that's
didn't matter.
I couldn't imagine like for the amount that I know about Japan, which isn't that much, but like to walk in to a company in Japan and tell them your hardware shit, we've got better hardware. Um, as a foreigner, that's not going to happen, is it? Like Japan would just be like, "Fuck off! Who the fuck do you think you are?" Because that's their kind of culture. They just laugh at you. It's like, well, especially if you're American, I don't think they like Americans that much. Like they'd be like, "What the? Nah." Oh, that's funny. Even to like at that point, when was that? 2001 ish. No, 2000. So yeah, by that time they were lacking behind. Like, cause that'd be the PlayStation 2 would be coming out around about that time.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh no. I mean, could you imagine someone doing that in like in a Japan place in Japan, just walking in going, "Your hardware's shite. Ours is better. Just let us deal with the hardware. You do the games." Like no, like oh, that's funny though. No wonder they got laughed at.
Yeah. Let me continue. While this is certainly the most notable of Microsoft's failed acquisitions, there were a few other notable developers who passed on the company's ventures. EA was
Yeah,
the first company that Microsoft reached out to. The software giant passed with a more simple no thanks. Microsoft also was meeting with Square, now known as Square Enix, and Mortal Kombat
developer
developer Midway.
Midway. Yeah.
One acquisition that did go through.
Mm. This one pissed me right
Sorry, I was
off.
trying to.
This one pissed me
One
right off.
acquisition that did go through gave Microsoft what's been the flagship franchise for Xbox since day one. At the time, Bungie was a little known developer, but Halo Combat Evolved arrived alongside the first Xbox in November of
Yeah.
2001 and was met with immediate acclaim.
Yeah. Okay. Now
It's not a
Bungie
stretch to say,
at the time, I just want to. At the
yeah,
time, Bungie was showing off this game for years on the PC, going, "Look, guys, we're doing this new game. We've got all these new graphics and stuff, and it's cool." Where Microsoft is going to publish us and all that stuff, right? So it was all like a Windows game, right, at first, and that's what it was all about. And then Microsoft went, "Yeah, no, how about we just buy the game and make it exclusive to our new console on the Xbox?" And the PC players were like, "What the fuck, you dickheads? That was supposed to be a game for the PC." And they didn't release it on the PC for over a year and a half or something. So yeah, I remember that pissed me off because you were waiting for it. It would be like Cyberpunk just coming out on the Xbox and not on the PC after hearing about it for like about 3 or 4 years. That was a
oh man,
cunt. That was a cunt move by Microsoft. I
oh, it
hated them
does.
for that.
I would have been mad.
Mm.
But of course, I would not have really known that because, like, God, how old was I in 2001? So let's see. I gotta see how old I was. Obviously, I wouldn't have known. Let's see. It's wait,
20 years ago.
2001 minus. I
20.
know how long it, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to I'm trying to see how old I was. I was just 13. I wouldn't have cared. about gaming news.
No, I would have
I
been.
would I wouldn't have known about that either. I would have just saw, hey, this came out on this gaming console. You know what I mean?
I would have been like 19 or something.
Yeah, so you'd been more aware.
Mm. Oh yeah, and I was right into the PC gaming at that point. Like that was mostly what I did. Or and a PlayStation 2, maybe.
I think that this is kind of funny because the only console I play on is Nintendo consoles right now. When I was a kid, I had, we had the PlayStations, we had Xbox, and we had like GameCube, okay?
Yeah.
And stuff. And we had like the N64 and stuff like that. So, we had like all three. We would always have like all three of the major gaming consoles because my mom liked to play games. That's what it was.
Yeah. See, we only got one. We had to choose which console we wanted.
We didn't choose. We ended up with like all three of them, and like all the time. Besides, the only one we didn't have was like Dreamcast and stuff. We didn't have that.
What's the? Yeah, the only reason we got the PlayStation was because most of the games we wanted was on the PlayStation. Like you had the Final Fantasy games, and you had Grand Theft Auto.
But my mom, like, she loved Nintendo, but then she also loved all the games on the PlayStation, like Grand Theft Auto and stuff too. So, what's my mom? My mom's not gonna choose.
No,
she just gets them all.
Yeah, that's because she could afford them all.
Yeah,
like,
I guess she could have.
And then but now it's all just PC because most of the games are on PC anyway. So. Apart from Nintendo ones, so I can see the point in having a PC and a Nintendo console, because
and we even had a computer obviously as well. But like most of the games that we played on the computer were just RPG games. So we had RuneScape and we had EverQuest, and I even had like World of Warcraft for a little bit. I played that for like maybe 6 months or something, and then I got bored with it.
That's usually the way about.
Huh?
Usually, people with World of Warcraft had to wean themselves off it.
No, I just like stopped. I was like, I found this boring. I liked EverQuest more. I'm sorry. But anyways, so. Yeah, so we had like all those things, but I think it's like funny that now the only console I play is Nintendo console, and it's because I find that it's better than the other consoles, and not in terms of graphics or anything. The perk that I find that's better with it is that I could take it and go anywhere with it, but also I could put it into the TV. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I can't lug around my computer with me.
No.
And Xbox and PlayStation, you can't lug those around.
No.
They're like giant. So the perk that Nintendo has is it's dual, where I can have it show up on my TV, and I can have it and I get all my Nintendo games that I can't play on a computer.
Yeah.
Right? So I just think it's funny that they try to buy Nintendo and everything, and now Nintendo's pretty much the only console that I play.
Yeah. Nintendo's kind of made their own little niche though, because they were getting beat by as they said, their hardware was lacking behind.
It was, but their games were. I think it's because their games were so fun.
There's that too, and also they sort of directed at a different market as well. Like with the Wii, the Wii definitely was not targeted at like proper gaming.
I think the Wii failed though, didn't it?
No, the Wii was massive.
Oh,
it was one of the biggest selling consoles at the time. It outsold everything, like by millions.
I didn't know because like we had a Wii at one point, but we didn't buy it at the time. We got it like a used one or something.
No, at the time,
Um,
like grandmothers and family members that would never touch games were all playing it because of the Wii Sports thing and the fitness crap. And
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, I know like I played on a Wii, and like I said, like we had one. Like I was not living with my mom anymore,
mm,
so we had like a used one,
yeah,
and but we didn't play it very much because the only thing I liked to play on it was like the little farming game.
yeah,
So I didn't.
yeah.
I guess I didn't find the Wii that fun.
That's what I'm saying. It was a different market. It wasn't really suited for just like sitting playing games. Really, like there was a couple, but it wasn't that many.
Like at the time, I played the Xbox and the PlayStation more, and then
Yeah,
like I played like that one game on the Wii. It was like Harvest Moon, I believe it was on the Wii.
yeah, it could be. I don't remember.
Here, let me see. I bet
I
it
just
was Harvest.
remember
Let
you
me.
have to swing the silly sticks and it's motion controlled and stuff, which was okay, but the bowling was good for like
Yeah, it was
if you had a
Harvest. It was
party and stuff.
Harvest Moon. That's what I played on the Wii because they have it on the
Uh,
Switch too. But
aye,
yeah, it's what I played on the Wii. Is I liked Harvest Moon. I played it on yeah, I would play it on the Wii, and that was the only game I had on the Wii.
mm,
So my boyfriend just eventually sold it, obviously, because the only thing I
yeah,
was playing was Harvest Moon.
yeah,
Playing it. So it's kind of just like a paperweight.
yeah,
So I guess it just didn't go over well with me, and so
yeah,
I don't think it went over well with my friends
yeah.
very well. So I just assumed it didn't go over that well.
No,
I
it went
guess.
it went really well for the other demographics. Like
Okay.
there was like people that never touched a console before in their lives buying them. Um,
Okay.
because they
I
were
guess Harvest
fitness
Moon was
and
fun.
bowling and sports and stuff. And a lot of the younger kids like the hand motion controls better than like a controller because it's easier for them, like for weird ones. So yeah, a
Mhm.
lot of like sort of like because of the controls and because of the way it was marketed, it was for totally different people, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it didn't go over well with me though.
Mm.
So I guess that's probably why
Mm.
I just didn't. I just played like this one game on it, which it was a fun game. Harvest Moon was a fun game. Now I'm like looking at, it, I'm like, oh, that was so fun.
Right.
But
Have you got
uh,
other things, or you want to go
well,
for food?
I could finish this off. Um, It's not a stretch to say that the game gave Xbox immediate legitimacy and helped it carve out a significant chunk of the gaming market despite the dominance of Sony and Nintendo. For more on how the first Xbox came to be, they have like the Diana Bass's oral history at Bloomerang is a must read.
Mm.
But no, I actually find that kind of interesting and how
Yeah,
I feel like with Xbox, I feel like Xbox and PlayStation compete against each other,
they do. Yeah, and
but
Nintendo just
Nintendo
doesn't
doesn't
care.
do.
Yeah,
Yeah, Nintendo just is like its own thing.
yeah,
And then Xbox and PlayStation just wars go on. And I just don't care about them because if I want a game, I could just buy it on PC.
yeah. Pretty much, and they are
But
PCs. They're basically PCs
yeah,
now. So,
but at the same time, I don't really want to play my Nintendo game on PC.
mm,
You know what I mean? Because I want to be able to take it with me. I want to have a gaming thing of games that I love that I could take with me places.
yeah,
You know, when I travel and stuff. And I don't travel that often, but I still I still like to take my Switch with me.
I mean the Xbox even got its name from uh, DirectX, which is like the way that Windows runs 3D games.
Oh
It's-
yeah?
yeah.
I did not know that.
So that's why it's
That's interesting.
Xbox because it's DirectX. So they just
Oh
took
yeah,
the
I also
X
don't
and then Xbox.
I also don't know if it's like me or whatever, but like I really don't like Xbox controller.
Yeah.
I just
You
I
get
feel
over it
like
though. You get over it after a while. Because I've got
yeah,
one
I
for the
just feel like
PC. So
do
just
do
plug
you
it
see
in.
see
Yeah,
that's what my boyfriend. Okay, so we have a couple of PlayStation controllers,
yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But one of them's our daughter's that is on the PlayStation.
Yep.
You know, that's her PlayStation. She got PlayStation 4, and we bought her a really cool controller. You know, she got a really cool controller that's all
Mm-hmm.
like shiny and everything and blue, like a little custom thing. You
Yep.
know, it was a Christmas thing. Anyway, so that's hers, and then my boyfriend has his that he plays on,
The
you
PC.
know, his computer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See,
his PC.
see
And I was
before
like,
before
well, I
that
was
didn't work. Like the PlayStation was a bit of a bitch to get the controller to work at first on the
mhm.
PC. So that's why everyone just went, you just plug in the Xbox controller and it works. So that's why I had an Xbox controller. Otherwise, I would have bought a PlayStation controller.
Yeah.
But
Well,
at the time, it was hard to get it all set up. You had to mess about a lot more. You couldn't just plug it in and it would work like you can now.
yeah. Well, the one of the reasons like I did I was like, oh, you know, I want to play Cyberpunk, but I really want to have a controller so I could just sit back in my chair and just play it
Mm.
instead of leaning forward with my mouse. It didn't feel like that kind of game that I wanted to play with my mouse. So I was like, I want a controller to do it, and I couldn't. My boyfriend's like, we're not paying $60 or something just so you can have a controller over there. Like, there's an Xbox controller, and I was like, I
Yeah.
don't want the Xbox controller because I hate them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really like how they feel. I don't find them like I just don't find them that good of control. I feel like out of all the systems, the Xbox to me has the worst controller. I'm sorry if people disagree, but like that's how it is.
Yep.
But I love the Switch controller, so I actually bought well for Christmas. I used one of our because we had Switch controllers already, and I used that one when Cyberpunk came out. I was using a Switch controller,
Yep.
and then I also, as a Christmas gift, picked out a Switch controller so that I could put my Switch controller back over by the TV, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and then I could have one because I'm spoiled and I don't like to unplug things and then walk a few feet and plug them back in somewhere else.
Lazy.
So I was like, I know. I was like, I need to have a permanent one that's over there and a permanent one that's over here. I do the same thing with scissors. My boyfriend was like, why do you need so many sewing scissors? And I was like, because I don't want to carry around one pair around the house. I have 3 different pairs of sewing scissors. So I don't have to walk around with them. So one's in the permanent spots.
Mm-hmm.
That is probably really lazy.
Mm-hmm.
And it costs more money too, because like the sewing scissors, they're actually I get them on sale though usually. Like I wait until they go on sale and then I'll get a pair. But like they're $30 scissors, and then I wait until they go half off, and
Yeah.
then I've gotten them then. So it's still like $15 per pair of scissors.
It's still a bit
So
expensive.
so I've got $45 worth of scissors. Well, technically, I technically have 4 pairs of sewing scissors, but one of them's my work that I use at work.
Yeah.
So that's another $15.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to use my ones at home at work.
Hey, that's fair enough.
Yeah. I feel like the work one makes sense. But then, like, to me, it all makes sense because I don't like to walk around with things. But
Yeah.
to my boyfriend, he's like, you just need one.
Yeah.
I'm like, no. Well, it also is really irritating when I take my project from one room into another room, but I didn't remember to bring my scissors with me.
Yeah.
And then, like, I have to get back up and go. I think I'm just making myself sound lazier.
Yep.
Oh, I'm okay with that though. I'll go ahead and go make food and
Right, and
stuff
then
now,
say
and you can do your own
yeah,
things.
say
I've got
bye
other
bye to
articles as
YouTube.
well.
Yeah,
Bye,
say
you too.